Hi there travelers, today we're going to be taking a look at NOCO's battery trays. These are available in sizes for Group 31, Group 27, or Group 24 batteries. Now if you're not sure which size batteries you have in your trailer or your motorhome, you can look on the battery. It's often labeled on there, but if it's not on there, there's usually a part number and you can check with the manufacturer. For these particular batteries, it doesn't have the group size on it, but I was able to use the part number and I just looked it up on their website and was able to find that these are Group 27 batteries. Now you might be wondering, well, why can't I just use a bungee strap or a ratchet strap to keep my battery in place? Well, there's a couple of benefits for having a tray. The tray is going to keep it in place because it's got a rim around the outside as well as a cambuckle strap on top to hold it down. This holds it in all directions. It can't slide forward, backward, left or right, and it can't come out of our tray. With a ratchet strap, you'd have to ensure that you covered it in all directions, and it doesn't look nearly as pretty. Another benefit, because it is a battery tray, and it's constructed of a special polymer that is resistant against battery acid, in the event that your batteries broke down and started leaking, the battery acid would stay in the tray and it wouldn't damage any of the components around it. We're currently in a compartment here where we have wood paneling and some other items in here that could potentially get damaged. But sometimes your batteries are on the outside, often on the metal frame. Battery acid on the metal frame will eat away the paint, which will then allow corrosion to occur, leading to further problems down the road. So keeping everything contained is really the best option for your trailer. Cambuckle straps do come included for securing down the battery, but if you look here, you'll see a small hole, and this allows you to use J-bolts. J-bolts essentially is a stud on one side that's threaded that comes down and loops into this hook, and then you place a strap bar on top that slides over the studs, and you can use some wing nuts to tighten it down. The J-bolts can be a more secure option depending on where you mount them. As you can see, I've got this strap here pretty tight, but there's still just ever so slightly some movement. If you use the J-bolts with the strap, you can cinch it down tight to where it won't move at all. The only thing that I would recommend with the J-bolts is that you do have the potential to over tighten those and you could potentially crack the battery, whereas you would never do that here with these straps. Now there is no mounting hardware that comes included with them. There are 4 bolt holes on each side for you to run your hardware in. The reason why that doesn't come with any hardware is because it depends on the surface you plan on mounting it in. For our application here, since we're mounting it inside using AGM batteries so they don't need to be vented, we're using drywall screws to just hold it down to the wood. If you were mounting these outside on your frame, however, you'd want to use self-tappers or you'd want to drill through and use a nut and a bolt. We have several different battery hold-down J-bolts here at etrailer.com in various lengths to match the size of your battery. We also have universal hold-downs to go across the top so you can get it secured using this method. Or you could just use the strap that came with it. Now, we're using these inside, and this is where I would recommend that you use them. Since it's not a complete enclosure, these aren't going to protect your batteries from the elements. The trays themselves are UV resistant, so you could use them outside and the tray's not going to break down. They'll be just fine. But I highly recommend that if you're mounting it on the outside to look into a battery box. And we've got plenty of options of varying sizes of battery boxes available here at etrailer.com, as the battery box is going to fully enclose it and protect it from the elements, keeping moisture, dirt, and debris off of your cables so they don't corrode. Now, depending on the type of batteries you use, you want to make sure you've got proper ventilation if you are mounting them inside. We're using AGM batteries, so we don't need to worry about ventilation. But if you were using a regular lead-acid battery, those do need to be ventilated as they will leak hydrogen fumes over time. And that completes our look at NOCO's battery trays.